We're busy talking to our regulator and the government to get access to frequencies, which will allow us to launch 4G as well. 4G will be a very niche proposition, right? Because people need to have expensive handsets, need to change their SIMs for marginally improved speeds, which really Kenyan consumers don't need necessarily. You don't have a lot of applications that need that really extra 4G speeds. Nevertheless, we're bringing that to the market because we need to be competitive. We need to even target that those niche consumers that want it. But for all of us that actually are very happy with 3G speeds and don't need anything more, we can ensure our consumers that we're continuing our upgrade continuously to give them the speeds that they want. I mean, you will see in the CA report, which will be published in the next few weeks, that our number of customers will increase substantially. The number of traffic will increase substantially on our network. It's still by all means a small size, as you know, as we have been saying earlier. We only control 9% of the market in terms of value, but we are working very hard to invest. We're working very hard to make our brand relevant to our Kenyan consumers, so we can capture more market share, and we can present choice to Kenyans, right? So that Kenyans have choice. But as you know, we're also working with the regulator and government to fix the market structure, because we believe that without that intervention, we can't really sustain being an alternative to Kenyan consumers. And unfortunately, if that happens, the country could end up with one operator, which is not good for anyone. So basically what we have been saying is that if the market is dominated by one player, and that player controls 88% of the revenues of the market, that player controls all the profits of the market, i.e. Airtel, the third player, are not making any profits. So that really puts a lot of danger on the sector, because the non-profitable players can actually exit the market. We all know that SR exited the market last year. We all know that there's strong rumors that maybe the third operator is looking for a buyer for several years now, right? And if this continues, who knows, maybe Airtel also will be in a position to exit, right? If actually the losses continue without any profits. So this could actually lead to the country having only one operator, which is not good for everyone. It's not good for the economy, not good for consumers, not good even for the dominant player, right? So we're saying that the dominance issue that has been fixed all around the world in this industry. The telecommunication industry is very different from the media or very different from the sugar industry. It's protected, right? I mean, no other operator from outside, from Tanzania, Rwanda, can come and offer services here. It's only the licensed operators that can offer services here, which means that market forces need some help sometimes, right? The supply and demand doesn't always work, right? If you are too big, you tend to get bigger because you have everything, right? If you are too small, you tend to turn smaller because you don't have any profits to invest. So that's why all around the world, and in Africa, in countries like Ghana, Gabon, Nigeria, when a mobile operator exceeds 50% market share, the regulator has to step in and actually allow the other small operators to at least be a little bit profitable, right? A small profit, so that they can sustain themselves. And that's what we're asking the regulators to do. Let's just follow the best practices out there. And what are these best practices? There are three. Price floor, so that the dominant player is not allowed to price below a certain point. Right? Infrastructure sharing, so that everybody can enjoy the big infrastructure the dominant player has for a fair fee, for a reasonable fee. And the third one is the break-off of M-Pesa into an independent entity. As we know today, everybody uses M-Pesa in Kenya, right? You have to use M-Pesa to do business, to actually interact with your family, etc., because it's everywhere. It's ubiquitous, right? But to use that service, you have to have the dominant player SIM card, right? So this is a service that's actually enforcing dominance, right? What is a second currency of the country. So what we're saying is this service needs to be independent, so that all mobile operators and also any banks that want to can access to this service, so that I have the choice. If I want to have an Airtel line and I want still to transact with this very innovative platform, M-Pesa, I can still do that. If I have an Orange line, if I have a U line, if I have a KCB account, if I have an equity account, a UBA account, I can still do that. I'm not obliged to pick the dominant player SIM to access this very critical resource. So these are, again, common sense things that have been done all around the world, and we're saying to the regulator and to government that let's not allow Kenya to be a lagger in this regard, right? Let's ensure that we fix this sector, because otherwise we will end up having one operator, and we will end up having the ICT sector in Kenya far behind its neighbors.